Martin returns to the top, Pecco Bagnaia rages. Enea Bastianini embarrasses Ducati, kicking Marquez in the Pi3 Motogp provisional standings.
Here's the next news.
Ducati Lenovo racer, Enea Bastianini, felt a sense of satisfaction after performing perfectly in the 2024 British Motogp Series. Enea Bastianini successfully swept the two races with wins in the sprint and on Sunday. Bastianini seemed to show that he still deserves to be at Ducati after winning the race held at the Silverstone Circuit, England, Sunday, the 4th of August 2024. Moreover, the victory achieved by Bastianini was not easy. Bastianini had dropped to 4th position at the start of the race until finally being able to turn things around in the final 7 laps. This result saw Bastianini achieve his first win of the season. "I'm very happy with how this weekend turned out for me," Bastianini said after the race, as reported by bowlersport.com from Crash.net. "I have been thinking a lot during this summer break to understand what I can do something more. I checked my pace, and during the races it was always good enough to be on the podium in every race. But every time, starting from the back, I lost a lot of time to do the time attack. During this weekend the approach to doing time attack was quite good. Yesterday was my first win in the sprint and today in the real race. I'm very happy to win the 75th anniversary Grand Prix," said Bastianini. Despite his double triumph, Bastianini does not see himself as a title contender. "At this point, I don't consider myself a title contender," he said. "Pecco and Jorge have shown better consistency than me in every race, and these two riders are always at the top," said Bastianini. "Sometimes I feel something, but it's always behind. If I want to be a title contender, I have to improve in that direction. I want to continue like this for the rest of the championship. If at the end of the championship I have this opportunity, we'll see," he said. Bastianini, like Martin, has been stronger than Marc Marquez in the last few series. This time, Bastianini again brought up why Ducati was willing to let go of two great talents like himself and Martin to join Marc Marquez. Martin had to move to the Aprilia factory team, while Bastianini had to be willing to join the KTM satellite team. When asked who would be worse off without either of them, Bastianini said it was safe to say either. "We'll see. I don't understand Ducati's choice because they have lost two riders like me and Jorge," said Bastianini. "But I respect this decision," he said. "About the KTM, I think it will be a good bike for me. But I haven't tried this bike, and if you don't try it, you can't explain what its strongest point is compared to the Ducati," he said. 2024 MotoGP standings update. Jorge Martin back on top, Marc Marquez far from top 3. The competition for the top spot is heating up again in the 2024 MotoGP standings. Jorge Martin has overthrown Francesco Bagnaia for first place. Francesco Bagnaia had to accept his throne being replaced by Jorge Martin after getting less than optimal results in the two 2024 British MotoGP races. Bagnaia was only able to gain 16 points from his visit to the Silverstone Circuit, England, Sunday, the 4th of August 2024. Meanwhile, Jorge Martin managed to collect 29 points by always finishing better than Bagnaia. Martin even almost won and was still leading the race until the last 2 laps. However, Enea Bastianini managed to take over as Martin admitted some obstacles. "Yes, of course. Thanks to my team. Today, as a tribute to Angel Nieto, it was great to finish on the podium," said Martin in Park Ferme after the race. "I knew that Enea was a little bit stronger than in the other races. I tried, with Pecco to try to manage the fuel consumption, and when I saw the moment, I tried. Now we are back in the lead, so I am very happy about that, and we will go to Austria," said Martin. Meanwhile, Bagnaia admitted that he was starting to lose the front part of his motorbike tire. Yeah, I tried to manage the rear tire well, but I started to lose the front. The front was getting a little bit worse, and when Martin overtook me, I just tried to follow him, said Bagnaia. But I lost the front again in turn 7, and then I thought, well, I crashed yesterday, so better to finish the race. Bastianini's victory also moved Marc Marquez away from the top 3 positions. Before the race, Bastianini, who was only 1 point ahead, has now moved 13 points clear. And in the last 4 or 5 laps, Jorge pushed a lot and it was very difficult to close the gap to him. But in the end, you know, in the last 2 to 3 laps, I always had something more and today was the same. It's amazing to be back on top, in a real GP, said Bastianini. Motogp 2024 standings update after 2024 British Motogp. 1. Jorge Martin 241 point. 2. Francesco Bagnaia 238 point. 3. Enea Bastianini 192 point. 4. Marc Marquez 179 point. 5. Maverick Vinales 130 point. 6. Pedro Acosta 122 point. 7. Brad Binder 114 point. 8. Fabio Di Gioia Antonio 104 point. 9. Alex Espargaro 99 point. 10. Alex Marquez 92 point. 11. Marco Bezzecchi 61 point. 12. Franco Morbidelli 61 point. 13. Miguel Oliveira 51 point. 14. Fabio Quartararo 49 point. 15. Raul Fernandez 46 point. 16. Jack Miller 42 point. 17. Augusto Fernandez 15 point. 18. Johan Zarco 14 point. 19. Joan Mir 13 point. 20. Takoki Nakagami 10 point. 21. Alex Rins 8 point. 22. Daniel Pedrosa 7 point. 23. Luca Marini 2 point. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to always support this channel to get the most complete information about MotoGP. Thank you.
Sono un po' appannati.
È sempre questa storia.
Basta, basta, basta. Anche tanto mancava.